Hi, Mike Serra here from Customer States. If you're searching for the highest quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw, performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, keeping that forklift forking and lifting, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of Hit Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but also a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we may need for our specific application. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust, so you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, combined with Justice Brothers supplying superior quality automotive products since the 1940s and 75 years in the racing industry, you will have absolutely everything at your disposal to get the job done. Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA, and they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. If you live in the Southern California area, call my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818. And if you don't, call him anyway and tell him I said thanks. And visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. Justice Brothers, America's brand for quality.
Hey, it's me again. It's Friday, so y'all know what that means. Yeah, boy. Now that's the stuff. May the shenanigans begin. Come on.
Oh, yes. Here we are. Here we are.
Ron.
So thank you, Ron, for giving us that voice memo for the introduction for the podcast. And again, thank you for the drinks. Drinks supplied by Ron. Let's do a quick cheers for everybody.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
8:05 tonight, at least for me.
Oh, I almost just spilled my Modelo.
What do you, Modelo?
Yes.
805 Red Bull.
Yeah, good old Red Bull, man.
And Tarantula.
Tarantula Hill. Liquid candy hazy IPA. It's delicious. And it's not a Truly, just like you requested,
Yeah,
Aaron.
specifically from Mr. Aaron.
So,
Not a truly.
So thank you again for listening to another episode of Customer States Podcast, where we talk about everything in the automotive industry. My name is Mike Serra. I am the Senior Master Technician, shop foreman, wearer of many hats, including this new one.
Oh, smile big.
He's looking at the camera.
And I want to introduce another very special guest today. To my left is Mr. Raymond Moon from El Ranchito Taco Shop. Give it up, everybody.
Ray. Sorry, you said I could.
Hey, guys.
Ray, you did say that she could call you Ray Ray.
Yeah, I did. So I'm Raymond, guys, and long-time listener, first-time podcaster.
Hashtag
nice.
sell the bell.
And thanks for having me here, guys.
Anytime.
Just real quick, obviously I'm the taco guy. You've probably heard the commercials with the creamy guac and all that stuff.
And the
So
jokes
Giggity.
about me not being able to have it.
yeah. And in regards to the automotive industry, I just like to spend money on cars, and I worked in the industry for a little bit, but now I make tacos. So that's it for me for right now. And to my left, we got Allie.
What's up, guys? This is Allie Paul.
She's back.
I'm back.
Hey, there you go.
I'm back.
Yay.
Eric's going to be so pissed off that he's not here.
No, I miss Eric. Eric did a great job. And if you say I love you one more time, that's my thing. No, I love you, Eric. You did a great job. Andrew and Rudy did a great job too. I'm back. I don't have a headache. I don't want to kill myself today. That's good. And I have also been wearing many hats. I've borrowed a hat from Mike, and I too have been interviewing people now. Another skill for me. Anyways, to my left is the wonderful, the handsome, the baritone, Jake Rikus.
It's the only time she ever compliments me.
Oh, that's not true. Hello,
Well, don't get
Jake.
used to it.
Exactly. There it
Welcome
is.
back, buddy.
Yeah. So, hey guys, I'm Jake. As always, been in the automotive industry for about 3.5 years as a service writer, at least professionally. Been tinkering with cars since I was a wee little guy. My new dream now is to become a taco guy because that sounds way more fun than what I do. And I apologize ahead of time if I sound a little like crap or if I cough. I'm getting over a cold, so please excuse us on that.
Was it like a head cold?
Yeah, chest cold, head cold, something like
You
that.
are
People
sick in
still
the
get
head.
colds. Isn't that
I know.
crazy?
Hold on, you are still sick in the head.
Baza.
Oh, sorry. I'm not supposed to humor you, I guess.
No, please do.
Oh, no. Okay.
I
Kevin,
Good job.
I'm very sorry. I miss you a lot, Kevin. You should come back and do this.
We got a half for you too, Kevin.
We do. It's right there.
Okay, well, again, welcome to the podcast. I do want to again thank you, Aaron, Aaron,
Yes.
for coming out and giving us these lovely beverages that you paid for from all the way across the states, and also that awesome voice memo. Y'all should for sure. I said y'all.
Y'all.
You
He's rubbing
guys-
off on you.
Yeah.
You can come join us for supper.
I'm like this close to buying a cowboy hat because I think it looks dope.
I support you.
So
There is a Halloween episode coming up. I have plans.
a Halloween episode for us.
Yeah.
We're gonna do Halloween theme.
Of course.
It's
Oh.
obligatory. Like, we
Hell
have to
yeah.
do
You
You
it.
have to dress up.
Okay,
Yeah.
I am actually kind of down for that.
Yeah, of
When I
course.
dress up as a technician. I already have the costume.
Just don't take a shower.
It's free. Well, no, that's
See, now Kevin would make a joke there. He'd come in a suit and wear a clown nose because sales are nothing but clowns. Thank you. Sound the
Nicely
bell.
done.
okay. So last week, Eric had teased. We had Andrew and Rudy on, who were my trainees, right?
Your baymates?
My baymates, and Eric had teased. Oh,
Hi, Eric.
Next week you should do the mentor point of view of having trainees.
Yes, I remember. The Mike side of the coin.
So here I go.
Every episode's the Mike side of the coin.
Well,
No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm sorry.
there's two sides to every coin.
Low hanging fruit.
So
Yeah.
we'll make this relatively short.
By all means.
The thing is that first of all, I'm not talking about any trainee in particular. It's just having trainees. I've had multiple trainees, so it's not just these two that were on the last episode that I'm talking about, or even people that I've trained in general. Just experiences and stories that I've heard and had and shared with throughout the years in the automotive industry. So, having a trainee or a mentor is great. It really is. It's exciting to see somebody grow and learn things and, ask you questions that kind of make you think like, oh man, this kid is paying attention, or, man, he really is getting it,
Yep.
However, there's always the flip side to that coin. It's like, well, they ask you questions that you've already been over at least 7 times in the past 2 days because we've done 3 of the same jobs and it's the exact same thing. And like, I understand everybody learns at different rates, but me coming from a extremely technical background and like just knowing how to put my hands on things and put tools in the right spot and what size bolt this is and the thread pitch and things like that. I mean, just random stuff. It's hard for me to look at the average person that comes into that trainee or apprentice technician, apprentice position, and say like, man, this kid's got it, or this kid doesn't have it. It's hard. You see some guys that will struggle literally holding an impact gun and a 6-inch extension and a wobble together on a thing and try and loosen a bolt, and those guys may make it in a year because they figured out how to make the mechanics of it work.
Well, nothing looks good the first time you do it, right?
But you can just kind of tell that like some guys have a knack for using their hands, or they have more experience than the previous person.
Okay.
You saw a lot of that at the Cranberry Institute.
You did see a lot of that at the Cranberry.
And to be fair, Mike, with that being able to tell if you can see that somebody has the capability, that's also a trait that's learned. You, with all the experience that you have the eye for something like that. Apart from like, at a different dealership where if, even a service manager who has to hire a tech, but has never personally really touched a car their entire life, may not have that same skill to be able to be all like, oh, well, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Oh, to like pick them?
Oh, correct. Like how he said, it's like when you see somebody pick up tools, if you've either worked on cars or you've been in the field long enough, you've got that skill. Like Mike could look at somebody real quick and be like, I think this kid's going to make it, or I think this kid doesn't. And that's a skill in itself. Apart from like where we work before, managers who have never really turned a wrench. And they go, oh, well, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about, and could end up being the worst technician you've ever had in your life.
I mean, so if I want to bring it down to basics, it's like I can teach you theory and I can teach you how everything works, and you can understand that perfectly or maybe even better than I do one day. But if you can't remove the transmission from the vehicle to get it out and put it on the bench or whatever, it's not useful to me or anybody in the automotive industry. So you have to have the hands-on skills. It's got to be both. You know, you have to understand the theory, and you have to be able to use your hands and understand like the physical relations of things, of like, you know, this is over here and this is over here, but I have to remove this in this way, and so I have to Tetris it out in this position because this area is thinner or whatever. I mean, it's just there's stuff that I can't teach you. I can teach you theory all day, like I said, but I can't like teach you how to use your hands really efficiently.
You have to have like the muscle memory to an extent.
We have a name for those. You know, the guys that know everything but haven't done anything. They're called Bob. Shout out to Bob.
Shout out to Bob.
What's up, Bob? I don't get that joke.
I know who you're talking about, right? Yeah. Okay.
We'll go into it.
He enjoys plants, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember.
No, well,
I don't remember.
last name. Anyway.
Okay.
So continuing on, we have.
Well, before we do continue on with that, I kind of wanted to add, because, you know, I've definitely, you know, when you do warranty, you do have to train people how to do it. If like I'm going to go on vacation and stuff, and I've definitely had some times where I've felt the same way. I've told you the same thing 1,000 times, but
is this directed
in
at
my
me?
mind, no. Jake.
Writing stories.
Not as of now.
Right.
But watch it. Anyways, you know, I feel like it's a good test of my skills when I do train someone, because it makes me think of things in a different way. And it also makes me be more patient, because I've done it a million bajillion times and they've done it 5 times, 7 times, whatever. So I kind of like it when I train other people, because it's a learning experience for myself too. Anyways.
You also get to see your skills, how they've improved. Like when you see somebody else use those skills and then succeed with the skills that you gave them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah.
So I have this queued up, and I'm going to use it right now. And the only thing that I have to say about, one of the things that I have to say about, I'm sorry.
Don't you dare put those are words.
Nope.
Okay.
No, that's for later, but thanks for spoiling it. One of the things that I have to say about having apprentices, there's no spoilers. One of the things I have to say about having apprentices is that you want to say something like this, but you can't ever.
If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
Again, Dale, I believe, had teased on that last time about how the number one question I talked about that poll.
Yep.
Why are you so dumb? I mean,
That was funny. I was laughing.
It's very funny.
Help me help you.
So we had another listener, and I can't remember the name right now, but we had another listener that wrote in and said, hey, well, part of the thing that's, nice about being able to teach somebody or having apprentices is that you as a technician or a master or whatever get to learn, hey, how does this person learn? Are they more
That's a
of
very
a
good
physical
point.
guy? Are they more of an audio guy? Are they more of a visual guy? What can I do to better interact and better train this person? And so it's kind of interesting for me throughout the years of having all these different personality types and seeing what I've been doing in the past that worked for some people but doesn't work for this person, and how can I augment that to make it more effective for this person. I mean, it's you have
That's
the potential.
interesting.
Each of you have the potential to grow. And again, like I said, that's why I like taking on so many different projects, is because it gives me the ability to grow my skills. Just like with the editing for the videos and stuff like that for YouTube,
Right.
which I know are terrible right now. Bear with me. I'm getting soft.
But they're getting better.
It's getting better. Yeah, I'm learning. So, but anyway, I mean, it's just like, learning new things. It helps me improve myself as not only a person, but as a technician and things like that.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
That's the next page over. Just give me 1 second.
No, but you're also
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
but you're also learning how to teach people. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's
great.
the same in so many industries, though. I mean, even in our industry, it's like I'll get someone that comes in and they're like, yeah, I've worked at this other taco shop. I have 10 years experience. And you're like, all right, sweet. This guy's going to learn and be quick because, cooking's cooking for the most part, like the generic things. And then you put him in there, you throw him to the fire, and he just doesn't know what he's doing like at all. Yeah. And it's like, sometimes I'd rather just take someone that has no experience and mold them, the way I want them to do things. And then, but also
Definitely.
they test your patience. Like, how quick are they going to learn it? And then me as the person teaching them, I have to look back and be like, hey, dude, you literally have like 20 years experience. Like, maybe you should take it easy on him, So, and I'm sure Mike probably goes through the same thing with his apprentices,
It's really hard because, again, like I hold myself to a super high standard, which is unachievable even by my own standards.
We
obviously.
can't all be you, Mike.
I can't even be what I want to be. But it's like when I am training somebody or like looking at somebody's potentials or qualities or interviewing a potential employee, it's like, man, I wasn't at that level, at that little level or whatever at that time, or like I had more experience by this time or whatever. It's hard to get a good judge of character if you have that bias of
your own personal
where was
bias.
I at? So you have to take yourself out of it. It's just it's hard. It's
all part of it.
A learning experience for all of us. It's one of the things that I definitely enjoy.
Well, Mike was Mr. Know-It-All when I first met him. So
Even at the Cranberry Institute?
yes. He sat in the front row, raised his hand for everything.
He still is.
He had his pocket protector.
That's Jake's biggest gripe right now.
What?
So if I could get Mike to just take a deep breath, I think he would just enlighten himself.
Listen, if Mike could take a minute to have Mike take a deep breath, he would really enjoy it. I go whole hog or no hog, no
what
half
makes
ass,
you
full ass
you,
or no
though.
ass. So
Full ass or no ass?
yeah, that's also one of my sayings is full ass or no ass. There is no half ass. It's like a Yoda thing, I think.
Or a Mike-ism, as Jake pointed out from last episode.
Yeah, we're
Isms.
for sure gonna have to write a book of all the isms from the podcast.
Hey, it's a good one.
There's one in here that I really like. If I can get to it fast
You
enough.
can. We'll wait.
No, there's no time for waiting.
There's no time for
Those are words.
What was
You
that?
could
I
have just
didn't
told
hear.
me to say it. Those are words. Those are words. Those are words. Those are words. Those are words.
Oh my god!
It sounds like the same person.
It is the same person.
Did I come?
Oh my god,
Wait,
that was
wait,
so funny. Everybody
wait.
tried to say that last week.
Before you move on, so to skip before you get to the certified fun.
Go ahead.
So I had something taken from me today on the ride from work.
Your
Did you
dignity.
lose your virginity?
I don't think I ever had it. Yeah.
Well, you okay?
Nope.
Go ahead.
I'm special.
We're
I'm built-
brushing over the time with your uncle. It's okay. Move forward.
Oh shit!
Oh God, the memories. Father Jonathan.
Okay, moving
Thought you were
forward.
Jewish.
Yeah. So on the way to work today, and it was almost going to be perfect, and I'm going to get really childish here, and I apologize. So, when you were a kid, you were back in school, and you realized you could spell out certain words on a calculator?
Oh yeah,
Like-
I know. Yes.
Okay, so like that, basically. So we were driving to work, and I realized at the top of...
I'm a child.
Yeah.
You mean shenanigans?
At the top of that specific hill that everybody knows about from my neck of the woods leading up to where we work.
Oh yes.
So the top of there, I look down.
You can say the grade. I mean,
I
there's
guess.
all
Yeah,
kinds of
that's
grades
fair.
around the.
So top of the grade,
State.
and I look down at how many miles I've got, and I'm at 8,007, and the temperature outside is 69, and I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna get 69 in boob right now, and I'm gonna get a picture. So as we crest over the grade and it hits 808, I look back down and the temperature's 64. I'm like, it's ruined. I don't even want to do it anymore.
We were so upset. Whoa!
I'm sorry, I fat fingered that one.
And even Allie's like, oh my God, it's going to happen. I'm like, I know it's going to fucking happen. And
Like 69 boobs, yeah.
and so
stupid.
it is stupid, but for, with the memes and everything, I'm like, oh my God, this is actually going to happen to me. And it didn't. So I was very sad and it was stolen from me. So there's that. And to go a little bit more, because I promised a gentleman that I spoke with that I would talk about his close calls that he's had like 3 days in a row now.
Close calls with
cars driving, like him almost.
Oh, like accidents, like
him
almost getting in an
him
accident.
almost- yeah,
Accidentes.
like him almost dying to the point of like I'm pretty sure he's living in what the hell's the movie where stuff keeps happening.
Oh,
Final Destination.
Yes.
Thank you, Final Destination. I was going to say driving behind the log truck. So,
Final Destination.
Yeah, Final Destination. So on Monday, Tuesday, whatever. This is going to be in chronological order. So he goes to Chick-fil-A, gets food, pulls out of the driveway. He's behind the CX-5. Go figure. They're behind a Mazda. So he pulls out. Dude in a blue.
Damn Mazda drivers.
Yeah, just wait, dude. So he pulls out. He's behind a CX-5 driver. Light turns green. Apparently he's not paying attention. He speeds up and he starts to veer. And he hits the car next to him. Somehow at 10, 15 miles per hour, his wheel clips this Jeep's inner wheel well. I believe it was a Jeep. And somehow is able to careen himself all the way over. He does a full 180 in the air, flips the car upside down, and lands on the roof.
This was in front of my dealership.
Yes, it was.
I heard about this.
Yes, so he was right behind that. He was in the thick of this. Oh my God. So he pulls off to the side, and, a bunch of people, including him, run out, make sure the guy's okay, open up the door. He's hanging upside down by his seatbelt, and they're like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "I'm going to unbuckle." And everybody's like, No, don't do that. And he unbuckles, and he just hits the roof of the car, which is now the ground, and, smacks his head. And,
because of gravity.
yeah,
BB
laws
to
of
it.
physics. And
Those are words.
And so he runs up and he's like, "Are you okay?" This, that, and the other thing. Everybody's like, "Don't touch him." And then somebody runs up and says, "I'm a nurse. I'll take over from here." And he's like, "Okay, peace. I'm leaving before the cops show up." So that was number one.
Issue for sure.
Yeah. Either way. So he takes off from that. Second happening is I'm trying to remember which came first.
the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
The Chick-fil-A or
The Chick-fil-A or the Egg McMuffin.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
So the second one is the following day on his way to work. He lives up in Castaic. So apparently there's some road up there when you're heading into work that has some turn that everybody knows about that's called Death Road or something. It's a blind turn, really dangerous, yada, yada, yada. So he's coming around the turn, and as he comes around the turn, there's an 18-wheeler tire that is loose, that is bouncing down the highway at him. It hits...
Mother of God.
Yeah. So he says that it hits one car in front of him, and if he wouldn't have moved, he thinks it would have hit him. So he's like, "Well, I'm going to pretend to be the tire here," and he's like, "I'm going to steer right at where I think
It's going to be.
Exactly. And it misses him by like 2 inches, flies back, hits the car behind him, truck is flipped, and as soon as he, allows the tire to pass and he sees what's next, semi-truck on its top, rolling down the highway towards him where the tire came from.
Okay, I'm never driving with him ever, just in case
So
he's...
misses the tire, misses the truck, misses all of that, is able to avoid that. And then I'm trying to remember the third. It was a trifecta, and I can't remember. I'm sorry, Joe, I tried.
affected.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's been real lucky for whatever reason.
Knock on wood.
So it was. I remember now. It wasn't an accident. Same thing heading into work. Not as exciting, but school bus pulls over. School bus pulls over. They have the stop sign. You're supposed to stop, not go around. He goes around, and then a bunch of cops pass on the other side of the road. And he's like, "Well, I'm fucked." And sure enough, they didn't pull him over.
Wow.
Jeez.
Both,
Count his lucky stars.
Yeah, I was going to say he's on
3.
number 3. Yeah, rule of 3.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so
Good luck, buddy.
yeah, exactly. Have fun, Joe.
So,
What is that noise?
it's
Baby
my-
goat.
It's my throne. It's squeaky. So moving forward, I hate that I'm saying that now. It's something I learned from my service
You've
manager.
become that which you hate.
We'll circle back.
Damn it.
That's what she said.
Thank you.
Literally. Okay.
It is, yeah.
Anyway, moving forward. No, do not come.
Do not come.
God, that's freaky.
So I had one of our listeners telling me a story. He's more than just a listener. He's Dale.
Friend.
Hi, Dale.
Lover.
He's the guy that does our website, the hashtag Cellabell, 3D printing stuff,
Yes.
Parts Canon. He's a huge help to me in many, many ways.
I still need a parts cannon.
To all of us.
I will get that going for you.
I need one.
I'll get that going for you. He was telling me a story about his dealership, and through Ford specifically, we have this new requirement to be certified in a specific category to do field service actions, so like recalls and technical service bulletins and things like that. So in order to be allowed to do that under warranty, you have to be certified in that specific area, right?
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it used to be shop competency, which means that if there was a technician like me who was a senior master and was certified in everything or whatever, anybody in the shop could do warranty repairs. Well, it's coming down to technician competency now for certain things. It's coming in the future. One of these things is field service actions. And so every technician that's going to be doing a recall or a TSB or whatever needs to have this certification. Well,
like per niche of
per Ford Motor
repair.
Company. Well,
Interesting.
any field service action or recall that comes out, you need to be certified in this category to be able to do them and flag it under warranty and get the warranty claim approved and things like that.
Okay.
Well, there's been a bunch of throwback. I can't remember what you call
Blowback?
it. Blowback, flack. Yes, and there's been a bunch of terribleness
Cannon fodder.
describing the dealership,
resistance.
like that the technicians are threatening to quit and they're not going to be certified and
Really?
they don't want to do the training and blah blah. I'm like,
Call their bluff.
it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like how can you say that you don't want to go get certified to do your job? Like that's required for almost every industry. My mother's a retired dentist. She still stays certified and goes to classes and seminars and does the online training and stuff that she needs just because she wants to stay current. My father does works in a hospital and does all these sort of things. He stays current and does online training and does this stuff all the time. I do online training and go to classes and stuff like that all the time. Allie, I know you do. Jake, I know you do. Ray
goes online.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's,
I do training for like serving beers and stuff like that.
There
We
you
have
go.
people up
absolutely.
in
I
it.
mean, it's
You have to get like your serve safe and all that.
Well,
That's-
hospitality too, man. That industry changes constantly for what's in.
I mean, that's moreover to my point is like, no matter what industry you go into, you have to be somewhat like, you can't go cut hair or whatever without a certification or whatever. So, I mean, like,
I've always found that so funny.
No matter
not
what.
to derail you.
yeah, no matter what, you have to be certified. So where are these people going to go that they're not going to be certified?
Yep.
And then he tells me like those guys,
Jiffy Lube.
those guys, half the techs in the shop aren't certified to work on Fords. Like, what do you mean they're not certified to work on Fords? I understand that they're good at their jobs and they know the product and they know a bit. How can you not be certified for that? Like, it's super easy. And if the dealership wants to send you out to training, it's basically like a vacation. You get paid to go to school. You get paid to, for your food expenses. You get paid for a hotel or whatever. I mean, it's asinine to me how you can. It is literally doing your job to stay certified.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you can fix the car. You also have to prove on a piece of paper or to Ford Motor Company in some fashion or way that you have to that you know how to fix the car more than just your actual skills of fixing the car.
Well, and then the other thing, it's like certain techs, my techs will also sometimes like, well, I don't want to take that certification or, it takes time, blah, 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 whatever the complaint is at that point. It's like, dude, you get paid for your average of what you would have made and your hourly to go, everything's paid for, and you get to have a couple of days off of work to learn something. That sounds kind of bitching. I don't get to do that.
It's frustrating.
Does the dealership still give incentives for certifications?
Yes.
Like pay raises and stuff?
Like,
yes and
you
no.
get to keep your job.
Hey, that's a good one.
Does Ford have any kind of like programs where you get like stuff for being certified? Like Mazda has programs like that, and so does Volkswagen. Like if I take a certain amount of classes, I can earn points and then get like a freaking George Foreman grill or something with my points if I want.
We paid for that Disneyland trip with all your points.
We went to Disneyland and I got a Keurig because of my Volkswagen points.
And we had a kick-ass hotel room, too.
We're going to answer that question right after break.
Nice tease.
Yeah. So thank you very much for listening so far. We're going to come back with Ray Moon, the tease to Allie's story, and hear more about Ray Moon and whatnot after the break. Thank you for listening to Customer States Podcast. We'll be back soon.
Mike, what are you eating? That looks amazing.
Oh, this? It's just a delicious Elsinore burrito from El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Is that nacho cheese sauce and hot Cheetos?
Nacho cheese, hot Cheetos, and their mouth-watering carne asada. And I'm dipping it in their creamy guac.
Creamy guac. Yum.
Giggity.
I guess this is a great time to remind everyone that if they're ever in the Inland Empire area, visit Ray at El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Yeah, totally. Check them out on facebook.com/Ranchito Elsinore.
Or on their Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore.
Now I want me some Elsinore burrito and some of that creamy guac.
Giggity.
I can always give you some of my creamy guac, Jake. Just ask.
El Ranchito Taco Shop, Lake Elsinore.
More than just great Mexican food. And we're back. Thank you, Ray, for your amazing taco ad.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I need about 350.
I need about 350.
I don't know.
We gotta pay those bills. We have to pay those bills.
Hey, Ray is the best. So seriously,
He
thank you
is.
for coming out, and thank you for supplying the delicious tacos that we will be consuming post podcast.
That's me rubbing my belly in delicious excitement.
We're picking it up in 1080p.
He's the real deal. That's for sure. So
Cheers.
And with that, we thank you. We salute you.
Thank you to the
Man,
troops.
this one was hard to crack. I'm not gonna lie.
it's a tough case to crack. Balls. A tough nut
It's a
to crack.
tough
Yeah.
can to crack.
Also.
Hey,
well, it's,
ooh, this is yummy.
I told you you'd like
hashtag
it.
sell the bell.
Thanks again, AA Ron, for the mix-up of drinks.
Oh yeah. For
Oh,
sure.
seriously, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We love hearing your voice. If you want to be an honorary cracker with us, wait, is that good? I don't know if I should say it that way.
A cracker?
A cracker?
If you want to be an honorary podcast member,
Yes, send us your voice memos. Be like AA Ron.
still going to send it.
He was concerned about. Apparently, he was using a microphone or something like that.
It sounded like it.
he was
Sounded
concerned-
great.
It sounded great. The first one that he did, I love the crickets in the background. I mean, give me some more of that, please.
Some ambient noise.
Some of that good Kentucky BS. Love the noise.
And I love the chicken.
I'm sorry. I'm
What?
trying-
Oh, Kentucky
Oh my
Fried
God,
Chicken.
seriously? I'm like, please don't make me explain that.
Well, I was like, was there a chicken in the background?
Jesus.
You know how I feel about farm animals. I get
know.
super excited.
I miss my cows.
Oh, cows are awesome. You know what else is awesome?
please do tell.
Teases.
Oh.
Like, tell me about your amazing Ford benefits for completing your training.
To completion.
So
Phrasing.
I'm gonna come.
damn it.
Damn it.
Do not come.
We've got your back, dude. I need about 350.
Don't even do
It's way easier to have you guys just do it all.
You guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
It's
There you
still
go.
pages off. Anyway, yes. So Ford actually does have incentives for training in a sense.
Okay.
So we have what's called it's awards or rewards HQ.
Okay.
And so we get a certain number of points for completing things, and you can either get like waterproof speaker or like a gardening trowel set.
Are they like branded, or is this just like whatever
It's not
from
Ford
like
stuff.
a catalog
Yeah,
of
it's-
things?
It's like essentially Sky Mall or something.
Yes.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Act now. Buy this from QVC.
this is one of those sort of.
But
things.
wait,
But we also have things that are like we call it the PTS challenge. PTS is our main homepage for finding like diagnostic things and looking up wiring schematics and repair procedures and things like that. So
that's
there's what's
Elsa
called
and Volkswagen.
the PTS challenge, and there are monthly questions that run through like 9 months of the year or whatever, and everybody is available to or free to answer those questions using the workshop manual and blah blah. And so there's like 4 questions a month, and then everybody gets and you can rate it, and then you can do with a mentor and a apprentice type relationship thing and answer the questions together, and all these different rankings
cute.
and categories. And the grand prize is usually it used to be a cruise somewhere, but now it was like a trip to Dearborn, and you get to go see the factories.
Okay.
You get to drive around the test track in some fancy car. And
That's
have
cool.
Lunch
That's
and
like
dinner and stuff.
pursuit for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see your rankings throughout the year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You can do that on Mazda and Volkswagen too. Volkswagen is Volkswagen Academy.
For almost as long as I've been doing this, I've been within the top 20 of my group.
If you're not first, you're last, Mike.
I have been last every single time.
No.
It's terrible.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was our training thing. But another important thing that we have to get to is talking about our special guest tonight, Ray Moon.
Oh, hey.
Hey, buddy.
Ray's here.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
So yeah,
So tell me about yourself. What's your involvement with cars? What's your involvement with me? What is your
Involvement with tacos.
tacos?
I wish I could say that I grew up like playing with Hot Wheels and just always loved cars as a kid, but like my kids do now. But for me, it really just started when I started driving, right? 15 years old, got my permit. I started looking into what did I want for myself for my first car. And my cousin was building like a late model 60 T-Bird at the time. So at first I was like, oh, I want a classic muscle car, or something. And I was looking at like late model or late 60 Mustangs. And my mom, her brothers all had like Mach 1s back in the day that were always in the shop. So she was like,
cool.
no, she goes,
Avoid like the plague.
yeah, she didn't want me like dumping money into like repairs and stuff. Little did she know that it doesn't matter. Like you're still going to dump money into your car. So my first car was a 2002 Toyota Celica GTS automatic.
Yeah, buddy.
Which it's a cool looking car. It was a cool looking car, but it was slow. And but that's what got me in the industry.
You guys silly?
I bet your mom liked that it was a slow car because
It looked fast.
there you go.
I drove it as fast as I could. 16-year-old kid. So
Yep.
The first thing I did as far as like hands on, because I was paying someone to do like a lot of the stuff for me, like even a catback exhaust. I had no knowledge. I had no experience, right? So the dude that was doing my stuff, he was like, hey man, it's not that hard. Like you can do the taillights yourself. And I was like, all right, cool. So I did.
That's
and
cool.
that was like my first, like, I felt like, oh shit, it's not that difficult, And so then I was in the racing scene and at that time, like the WRX had just came out.
Okay. Yep.
They were a big deal because my buddy had a V6 Camaro that was like beating most like imports, and it's a V6 Camaro, right? So it's like, but it was fast, like, and this WRX smoked them, and the WRX was in the dirt the WRX was in the dirt. My buddy's Camaro was on the street, and he got smoked, and I'm like, dude, that shit's cool. And I saved up money, and right before graduation, I put a deposit for a Mitsubishi Evolution.
Okay.
And that's really what opened the door for me. At that time, I was going like doing business administration in school, and I kind of told my mom, like, look, I know I'm going to be in the family business making tacos, right? Like I grew up with it. I loved it. Like I knew that's what I wanted to do. I was like, if I'm going to go to school, I want to go to school for something I enjoy doing. And in case it has to be like a backup job, and the family business fails, people just stop eating tacos for whatever reason. Right?
That will never happen.
Right.
Never.
So I start I sign up to go to Cranberry University, right? And
Cranberry Institute.
yeah. And I get a job.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
I get a job working at a performance shop that was down the street. And I got my foot in the door because I told them, look, I don't know anything. I don't know what tools are. I was like, but I'm a quick learner. I was like, pay for my gas and pay for my food. And then you can start paying me when I'm actually productive.
Yeah.
And in 1 year, I became their main tech at that shop.
Nice.
It didn't take that long. But that's how I met Mike, was at, the Cranberry Institute. We had almost every single class together. And we hung out. At the time, my car we were building the engine, right? So I get this job.
the Evo.
Did you guys build it together?
No.
Okay.
So at the shop that I was at,
Gotcha.
I was there. So I'm like, well, I get everything at cost, and I'm doing everything myself. So
There you go.
I start building this Evo, and I pick up this $1,000 like Mitsubishi Eclipse DSM. And that's what I'm like driving to school. And it was fun. It was quick. It was still quicker than most of like the kids' cars at the school.
Yep.
And then Mike and I would switch cars. I would drive his truck and he would drive the Eclipse. And it was a good time. just a quick note, shout out to Victor and Chad and all the guys we went to school with. We hung out with a good group, and for people that want to talk shit on like that industry or like those schools, like you get out what you put in, right?
That's exactly what I say every single time.
Yeah, I hung out with like everyone that I hung out with at that school. They became master techs. Mike's a master tech. Victor's a master tech at Audi. Chad worked at Porsche. Now he's a fireman.
Rory.
Awesome.
Rory, my buddy John that I went to Volvo with is a master tech at Volvo out in PA.
Juan's a model or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Juan became a model. So
That's definitely the other side of the spectrum.
But everyone that I hung out,
He was gorgeous.
yeah, everyone that I hung out
Pictures.
with at school, we were all top of our class, and everyone did something with themselves in the automotive industry. I went back to my family because. Volvo screwed me over at one point, and I was like, all right, I'll just go make tacos. It's what I want to do anyways.
Right. Yeah.
So that's, I got to that. And then I was, I would build cars on the side for side money. I did that for a while until people became very cheap. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I was providing a service. I knew what I was doing. I was helping people out. The Hyundai Genesis had just come out, and I had bought one of those, and I was like, I had the fastest one in California for a while.
Nice.
And I was doing good side jobs here and there. And then people just are like, oh, well, once people figured out how to work on the car, they were like, so-and-so can do it down the street for, $100. I'm like, well, then go to them.
So take it to them.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to bust my knee. So I stopped working on cars after I started making good money at my own shop. And now I just enjoy it as a hobby. Now I work on my own car. I kind of went away from imports just because with all the smog regulations that we have here in California,
It's not even worth it.
it's not. I got over like having to worry about where I'm going to smog it, if I get pulled over by the cops, all this. So now I just have, the Camaro ZL1 1LE that's fast from the factory and don't really have to do anything to it. If you beat me, if you're faster than I am, that just means that, you have a really good car and good for you. I know what I have and I enjoy it and it has a warranty and I can break it.
Also what you had in the
Very
past.
nice.
Yes. Yeah. So the Evo, I did build it. And at the time it was 600 wheel horsepower on,
Wasn't it like the second fastest in Southern California?
I don't remember,
Dude,
but
you remember that competition. You
Yeah.
had it all tuned up. We went out with the fucking laptop in the car on lunch break from UTI, and you were like, oh, this is the tune that I'm going to use for the race, and blah, blah, blah. And you took us out, and we did the 4-wheel launch, and the car just like, and then launched. It was
Awesome.
yeah, 600 wheel horsepower in 2009, 8
was
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I have a 2.3.
Yeah.
It was stroked.
Yeah. E85 wasn't really the thing yet. So we were using C16 race fuel, which is like at the time $12 a gallon or something ridiculous.
Damn.
So I'd go to the races and like drain my fuel and then put the C16 in, switch the tune. I only lost once in that car, and it happened to be someone from that school was like talking shit. They're like, "Oh, race my Cobra, race my Cobra." So I'm like, "Yeah, fuck, let's go." And then my buddy Chad went with me, and we get to the dude's house, and then he goes, "Oh, my car's not running, blah blah." But my cousin has a Fox body Mustang that he'll run you, and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Like, I'm already here, I already bought the race fuel. Let's fucking go. We show up to the spot. And I don't condone street racing, by the way. I go to the track nowadays.
Yep.
This is when I was young and dumb.
Shenanigans?
But we get to the spot, right? And this guy pulls up in his like stripped down Fox body, and they're looking at videos on their flip phones back in the day or whatever it was. And these dudes are running like 9s. And I'm like, fuck, what did I get myself
Which
into?
is fast for a quarter-mile car.
Oh, yeah.
A street-legal quarter-mile car.
Yeah.
Very fast.
The Evo was high 10. So I was like, all right, well, they obviously know what they're doing. So we get to the place we're going to run. The dude's already on slicks, right? Well, they get there. They jack it up real quick. They take the slicks that he drove there with off.
What?
And put bigger slicks on.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I still only lost by like half a
again,
car length. but-
Shenanigans?
Yeah, that's...
That's pretty damn close. Half a car length.
You mean like from the door back? That's pretty freaking close for somebody on
Yeah.
straight slicks, and you drove the car there with no mods.
When you say 9s, do you mean like 9998 or like 9293?
I think
What
it
are
was
we
like
talking
mid-nines.
about? I don't mean to bring it down.
Seconds and a
Second-
quarter
Okay.
of a
Seconds and a quarter
mile
mile.
race, drag race.
So what did you say? 9?
The video I saw, it was like a 9.5 or something. Wow. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
fast for a door slammer and
Yeah.
a daily
It's
driver.
fast for today, and
it is.
It's for today. Yes, you're absolutely correct. It's still way quick.
Yeah. Although now you got these Teslas coming out, running low tens or whatever.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
not everybody has Elon Musk's idea for what an automobile should be, or his financial backing for it.
Yeah. So that's my experience in a nutshell. Now I'm just an enthusiast. I love all builds. I mean, I can even appreciate the electric cars that are doing their thing. For me, I still need that smell. I'm like, they're gonna have to start putting
there's something
fragrances.
about that.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to start putting fragrances in the
Ford
Tesla,
Motor Company makes a gasoline fragrance that you can buy
You're
with your
kidding
Mach-E.
me.
Kid you not.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Ford makes a gasoline
Yeah,
fragrance.
the smell, the sound, the everything.
Do they have like sound generators so they sound like mean?
I kind of want to say that Tesla has something like that.
Because I know that they did something for the e-Golf at one point that like had a sound generator.
Well, they
in
have
it.
like noise canceling
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
vehicles for like all the electric wines, but
Well, you can customize the sound your Tesla makes. It's like that one guy, I can't remember his name online, but for a while his sounded like the Jetsons spacecraft when they took
Oh,
off.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's funny. Or like sounds like something from Star Wars or whatever.
whatever
That'd be
you want
pretty
it to be.
cool.
if it doesn't have a gasoline powered V8, I really don't give a shit.
if my Roadrunner would be done, I'd finally be able to show you guys. We'll just have to wait a couple more years until I get that back. Jesus.
Maybe you should go to Cranberry Institute and just learn how to do it yourself.
Yeah. Shout out to Cranberry Institute. Hashtags all about.
Yeah, just make sure you go through the classes with someone like Mike, and you'll be fine.
To get you through.
No, but put the work in. Don't let him do it all.
Teach me Kimosabi.
You for sure have to put the work in. It's only what you get out. What you put into it, or you get out of it what you put into it. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I get such a bad rep, because you'll get these kids that get with someone that does all the work, but we're in groups. They all get the same grade from the work that the one kid did. And they pass.
Yep.
And then they can't, they go into the industry
The
like,
real
I
world.
graduated. And
But at what
they're like,
cost?
what the fuck? You don't even know what the fuck you're doing.
Well, when I took the groups, I like explained and like tried to do as best I can as an instructor for that specific thing. I mean, it's you don't want to take over the entire project. It's just like when I go to Ford training school, you don't want to like take over the whole thing and just like bang through it because the other person doesn't learn anything or doesn't take anything out from the class.
You have to like take a step back because, you do have to let other people do their thing as well.
You try to teach, not do.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing is like with how you were talking with your Evo and stuff like that. Nowadays, even talking about like with your Evo and when you build it, there's a difference from having a car and having it be your car. So it's like when you have these younger kids who living in right next door, really ritzy area, and it's like, okay, yeah, your dad bought you this Porsche or your dad bought you this AMG or whatever the fact, they're like, my car can kick the shit out of it. It's like, and then somebody pulls up in a Civic that they have worked their whole life on.
Built versus bought.
Correct.
Right,
And
exactly.
it smokes the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And it's the greatest feeling on earth.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it looks great, man, and it cost you six figures. I get that. It's like, I built this in my backyard for the past 6 years. I guarantee I'll whomp your ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like I'm not even against like those kids either, as long as they're respectful and they appreciate everything,
Right.
And they understand that they were a little better off, because I had those kids tell me, so like, well, you have an Evo because of your parents. I'm like, well, yeah, my parents helped me, but they fucking worked hard to like be able to help me get that car,
Yep.
And, so I was very appreciative of my parents, of where I came from, the hard work I put in to be able to have what I had,
Exactly.
but, and I've run into kids that they have like these really nice, like Corvettes or whatever, but they're super down to earth. They're like, yeah, like my dad, this and that. But like, and I just tell them, hey man, just don't be a douchebag. Don't be doing burnouts when you're leaving meets and stuff, and they're totally respectful. And so there's kids that are out there and they're better off but they're cool, and then you get the douchebags that they don't care.
Well, there's something to be said for when you really have to work for something. And,
respect it.
I was talking with you earlier about how, I think everybody should have to work in the service industry, like in the food service industry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because there's definitely some parallels between, okay, let's say Jake working with customers and, everything that he deals with. And then, okay, you work at the taco shop or whatever, and then you have complaining customers there too. It makes you really appreciate what it is to, you know, have your hands working in things and working with customers, because, you know, everybody has all kinds of different days and stuff like that. So I think it makes you really appreciate, you know, what someone is bringing to you with, you know, with their service work, you know.
What we do in the customer service industry as far as technicians and automotive people is no different than what Ray does, because it's the same people that are buying tacos from Ray that are getting their cars fixed from us. So, you know, they still have the same concerns and complaints and questions and about every aspect of the service, whether it's washing your car after the oil change has been done, or, you know, why something about food or whatever. I don't work in the food.
Well, and it's the same thing, right? Like,
and fuck Yelp.
They're upset because their car's not running properly, and then you fix it, and then they're happy, right? And it's the same thing. People come in hangry, right? And so
I'm looking at you, Allie.
They start giving their attitude, and then as soon as they have their food, they're like, they'll even apologize sometimes. They'll be like, hey, sorry, I was rude. You know, my dad and my wife are like that. Like, once they start getting hungry, their attitudes change.
Yeah,
and it's like, and it's the Snickers commercial, you know?
Definitely.
She is so bad, man. We'll be driving home there. She hasn't eaten her enough. She's just like sitting there like scrunched face like this. I'm like, you okay? She said, no, I'm not okay. I'm like, what happened? She's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, okay, let's go get you some food.
I'm known to get hangry at times. Yeah.
Yep. So I tell my staff, hey, some of these people are like that, and some of these customers, you know, I was like, you don't know what kind of day they're having, you know, and just don't take it personal. You know, at the end of the day, you're not making the rules. If they're upset because of something that you can't do, you know, just know it's not on you, you know, and then just try to get their order, get them out, and move on. You know, forget it. You know. And because sometimes I'll have employees that, you know, they're stressed out because a customer went off on them, and I'm like, hey, just move on. And so,
I mean, customers can be mean. I mean, I've had people tell me I was a fucking idiot from working at the dealership, or not at the dealership, at the deli. Like, does it make you feel better that you told a 17-year-old that they're a fucking idiot because, you know?
How sad is their life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe made you cry a couple of times.
Oh, well, that's true.
Fuck Joe.
There are tears to be shed in any industry, I guess, depending on who you are.
Unless you're mad.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you secretly go back behind and cry behind the bay or whatever.
I do. There's my own personal tear puddle. So speaking about crying, I've got a fun little story that Allie has been reminding me for 2 episodes now. So the one she missed.
I tried to get him
and the one
to
before
record
that.
it. Oh, I'm sorry. Going through puberty, I guess.
So with the whole crying thing, kind of had a story where a customer kind of cried, and I'll explain. So I got a call from a distraught mom, lady, however you want to word it, and she calls and she goes, I was just driving on the 101 and my car just stopped. I'm like, okay, what happened? I'm like, anything weird, any lights? And she's like, every light's on, I don't know what to do, I had to pull over and I'm scared, and you know, the regular phone call you get. And just car stopped, and this is no jab, but usually it's a young girl or a young boy or a mom. It's like usually dad,
maybe an inexperienced driver.
Exactly.
They don't know what to do.
That's the thing. So I need help, this, that, and the other thing. Car's under, it's 336. So I'm like, here's Mazda's roadside. They will tow you to the dealership for free. Where are you at? And she's like, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, perfect. We're the closest one, so they're going to take you to us anyways. But if they argue with you, you're more than welcome to tell them, bring it here. So car shows up, and she's like, do I have to be there? I'm like, no, just leave the keys. If your husband or whoever wants to pick you up, that's fine. Do you have a file with us? I look it up, get the numbers. Shows up on the flatbed, and I asked the tow truck driver, I'm like, so what do you think it might be? And he's like, really don't know, man. Could be a battery, you know, maybe rodent damage. Not really sure. I'm like, okay. So open up the hood, no rodent damage. Battery looks fine. Car's got like 16,000 miles.
Is it all lit up? Like,
oh yeah, it's lit up like a Christmas tree. Everything. So usually with the Mazdas, if they're lit up like that, it's usually low voltage, goes into limp mode, just dies, whatever the case. So, excuse me. Hey, I said I'm getting over being sick. I'm sorry. So I call them. I'm like, look, guys, this is the diagnosis charge. We're more than happy to look at it. If it ends up being rodent damage, it's on you. If it's a manufacturer defect, it's covered. If we find out it's something really dumb, you're still on the hook. They're like, that's fine. We need it fixed. So I give it to my tech, and he takes it back. And day goes on for a tiny little bit, sitting there helping other customers, whatever the case, blah, blah, blah. And 25 minutes pass, and my tech walks in and goes, hey, Jake. I'm like, yeah. He's like, do we have a gas can? I'm like, what do you mean, do we have a fucking gas can? He's like, do we have a gas can?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, why? And he's like, I just need to see something. I'm like, okay. And my brain at this point, because I'm busy, I don't really tie together, remember what car he has. So I'm like, yeah, it's over there. So he grabs it. 5 minutes pass. Comes back and he's like, hey, Jake. I'm like, yeah, what's up, buddy? He's like, let me show you something. I'm like, okay. So he takes me out to his bay and he hops in the car, starts it, fires right up. I'm like, okay, what'd you figure out? He's like, it was out of gas. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Inconceivable.
I'm like, what? He's like, it's out of gas. I'm like, oh.
Inconceivable.
So I distinctly remember you telling a part of this involving the husband.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that. So out of gas. And I'm like, are you
husband.
you positive it was out of gas? And he's like, dude, it was dead empty. I'm like, how'd you check? And he kind of looked at me like, how dare you? I'm like, dude, the customer is going to ask me this.
Yeah, I need to know.
So I need to know.
Pinpoint test or something.
Exactly. He's like, I unplugged, or he's like, I pulled the hose from the high pressure fuel pump. I cranked it, and all that came out were just air.
Farts was your word.
Farts. Yeah, exactly. Farts. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's all I need. This is enough ammo where if they yell at me, I'm good. I call. So I get the wife. Start explaining to her. She's like, no, please stop. I don't know anything about cars. Talk to my husband. So I get the husband, like, hey, I'm Jake. I've got the car. I need to ask you a couple of questions. I'm all like, what was your wife, or was the car doing anything weird? Did you get any warning lights, anything before you guys brought it into us, or that your wife noticed before it died on the freeway? He's like, no, nothing that I know of. And I'm like, okay, I know what's wrong with your car. And he's like, okay. He's like, is it going to cost me a lot of money? I'm like, no.
I would have also accepted, I need about $350.
I need about $350.
That's a different page.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, your car ran out of gas. And there's just silence. Like, I mean,
Inconceivable.
Yeah, eerie silence. Like, I know this dude's popping a vein on the other.
What the fuck do you mean it ran out of
exactly.
gas?
And I have to go. I'm like, sir, you still there? He's like, what do you mean it ran out of gas? I'm like, it ran out of gas on the freeway. And he's like, that's impossible. I'm like, well, it's not. And he's like, well, how do you know?
Well, I put gas in it and it runs fine.
And so,
Right?
So that's what I started with. I'm like, well, we put gas in it. And the minute we did that, it fired up. And he's like, well, how did you make sure? And I'm like, well, my tech pulled the high pressure fuel line and tried to start it, and all that came out was air, no fuel whatsoever. He's like, it doesn't make any sense. There must be something wrong with, the filler gauge or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it was simply your wife did not notice that the fuel gauge was on or the need fuel light was on, or you didn't. And I told him, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's really this simple.
I mean, shit happens.
Right.
And so after you put, I'm assuming, so like when we do things, we put like 5 gallons of gas in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
It's generally about $20. So that's what we charge the customer. It's roughly around 5 gallons of gas for a diagnostic thing or whatever. And so after you put that fuel in the vehicle, what did the fuel gauge read? Like very close to empty. I mean,
it was barely over empty.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
barely.
It was definitely out of gas.
It was definitely out of gas, no questions. So he goes, well, the light didn't come on. And then I go, well, about that. So the way that the Mazdas are is on there. So they had a CX-9. The way that the gauges are set up is you have an analog, and a digital LCD screen. On the digital LCD screen on the far right of the gauges has your gas, how many miles you got left, and it will also pop up the warning if you're due for service. Well, they're due for service. The thing is with that service warning is it blocks out everything else if you do not clear it. If you just let it sit there,
you can't get any other low tire pressure or whatever.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So it'll flash for a second, but that's all you get. And then the service light takes over. So I'm like, well, sir, your service light's on. The That's what is blocking the view. If you guys clear that, or we do an oil change for you, that would go away. And when we started this, I made kind of an agreement with my manager. If he buys an oil change, we let him off. Just an oil change. We're good. Not going to charge a diag, but we're not going to tell him that. If he goes, no, I'm going to get it elsewhere, $175 diag.
So you get
exactly
nothing.
So I gave him the option. And he's like, no, I don't want an oil change. I've got somebody else who will do it cheaper. Fantastic. $175. He's like, what? I'm like, $175, what you guys agreed on. So how was that 3 gallons of gas for $175 there, bud?
You guys silly? I'm still going to send it.
Exactly. So he was, of course, in pissed off mood, all that stuff. And this gets better. So he goes, I'm going to pick up the car in a bit, all that stuff. And I'm expecting him to come in heated. I'm going to get into an argument or try and calm him down, whatever the case. He walks in and he goes, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Jake. And he goes, Jake, I want to apologize. I'm like, oh my God.
Apologize for.
So he goes, I want to apologize if I seemed off-handle, angry, what that. He's like, to tell you the truth, and word for word, my dumbass wife insisted that she had to go. I know, but I have to tell this how it is.
Phrasing?
I know. He goes, my dumbass wife insisted that
phrasing?
Oh my God, Mike. Insisted that she had to go right then and there to go get Chick-fil-A because she was so effing hungry. I'm like, I see. The Lord's chicken is the culprit. So he's like, I kid you not, she hopped in, didn't think about anything, was like, I need chicken, and ran out.
About chicken fitty.
I need about chicken fitty. And so that was hilarious. But he's like, I really appreciate it, man. I'm sorry. He's like, I don't want to waste your time. And then the good guy kicks in. I'm like, you said sorry, dude, it happens. Everybody makes mistakes. This is what you should look out for next time. And I'm like, if it ever happens and you have this light on for your maintenance light, hit this button. It will go away.
Be aware that it will cancel out other functions.
Correct.
It might have just been like a case of she didn't know.
Exactly.
Like she didn't know she could do that. Or he didn't know he could do that. Who knows?
And to pass off to Allie super quick, she has a gas story.
Do we want to do that, or do we want to go into listener mail and carry that over to the next episode?
Let's carry that over to the next episode. We'll go into listener
Sounds
mail.
good.
So we have a listener mail today. It's more of a listener joke. Ray, come on. Thanks, buddy. We need all the sound effects. So this today's listener mail or listener joke comes from Steve.
Hi, Steve.
I thought this was so funny.
This was hilarious.
They do know we're in California, right?
Yes, they do.
Definitely.
And
That's the joke.
And
You can hear by our nasally voices.
I had
California
amazing
accent.
dreams after seeing the Wall of Freedom and thinking about the safe and all the land and
What about the hammer? Did you guys see the
yeah,
hammer
we need
thing?
to do that.
Well, my hammer is much bigger than what
I
they
know.
used.
Of course it is, buddy.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do
I'm
some
sorry, that
workout.
wasn't a flex. I'm just saying, I don't have anything comparable to what they have. I'm
Should
gonna
we
have to go
explain what we're talking about?
No, we will record that. We'll keep it a secret.
So
Stay tuned.
There's a hammer challenge that's coming. I actually have been working out, so we'll see that.
12-ounce curls.
Yes, 12-ounce curls. The raising does great for audio. Anyway, so we have here Steve Rigby's joke, and I'm going to read it in its entirety. And again, this is not anything written by me. This was sent to me, so please bear along. It is extremely funny.
And we love everybody from Kentucky, Idaho, and California.
Yes, we love everybody, and we do not condone violence. Without further ado. So, a guy from California, a guy from Kentucky, and a guy from Idaho are in a bar. The guy from California finishes his glass of wine, throws the glass in the air, and says, "In California, we have so much wine, we don't have to drink from the same glass twice." The guy from Kentucky finishes his glass of bourbon. Oh my goodness.
How much bourbon did you have today?
A little bit too much, apparently. The guy from Kentucky finishes his glass of bourbon, tosses it in the air, shoots it, and says, "In Kentucky, we have enough bourbon that we never have to drink from the same glass twice." The guy from Idaho finishes his glass of Coors, tosses it in the air, shoots the Californian and says, "We have so many Californians out here, we never have to drink with the same one twice."
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a
I almost shot beer out my nose waiting for him to find that button.
There you go. You know what? Just smash them.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are words.
The monkeys might fly out of my butt.
Oh, dude, that was perfect how to end that. That was not planned. Oh, my God.
That actually worked out.
Okay. So again, we want to thank everybody for listening today. All of the listeners out there. We cannot do it without you. We've shouted out so many people today, and you can always find us at
Yes. Oh, there's the paper.
Oh no.
No, that one's gone. We've already done that listener mail. You can always find us at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com. That's a good way to email us for hashtags to the bell, send us voice memos, ask about our hashtag sell the bell.
Make fun of Mike.
Make fun of me for sure.
Make fun of Jake.
Yeah, I can't have guacamole.
Well, I haven't eaten any tacos yet, which is probably why I'm starting to slur my words.
You're hangry.
Ron asked me to buy different drinks other than Trulies, and the Trulies
much stronger than
The
Trulies.
Trulies are much stronger. I mean, I'm sorry, the other drinks that I've been drinking.
You
are
might
much
be mad
stronger
about
than
this
Trulies.
one.
It's okay. He can. No, Modelo's okay.
Yeah, but not this one.
Oh,
It's not a Truly
Probably
though.
just as strong as the Trulies.
It's a seltzer.
No, that wasn't bought with his money. That was already actually.
Oh,
in the box.
okay.
Oh, there you go.
So anyway, please go ahead and follow us at Twitter and Instagram at customer_states. You can check us out at facebook.com/customer states. Again, like I said, email us at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com, which also just happens to be our PayPal if you want to send us any donations. We have a website, which is called www.customerstatespodcast.com, where you can find out all the information about us, like behind the scenes stuff. You can purchase the hashtags to the bell there. You can listen to the episodes straight from that website. And we also have a YouTube channel up right now, which Ali seems to be doing live streaming stuff from. And at this very moment, if you're listening or watching the YouTube video, you can go ahead and search for us on YouTube at customerstates.podcast. And I believe that's it. I also want to give a big shout out to Dale Follett at twistedbuilds.com. He's the mastermind behind the website, the 3D printing stuff. He helps us out a lot. Raymond Moon from El Rancho Taco Shop.
Ray. Sorry.
Lake Elsinore.
You're welcome.
El
Thank you
Ranchito.
so
Yes,
much for
thank
coming
you.
out. Thank you so much for bringing your food wares, your
appreciate
beautiful hat. I cannot thank you enough.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
It
they're
was
going to
fun.
put me to work right now. I got to go make tacos.
I'll help you.
But is there anything else anybody wants to add?
Just thank you so much for being here, and as always,
Yeah, I was going to say, guys,
Oh.
wait, we got to do this. We will see you next week. Thank you for listening. Listen to what Mike has to say. Ray, thank you. And Allie, since we didn't have you last week,
We miss you, Ali.
love you.
there it is. See you next week, guys.
Good job, Eric.
Hi, this is Mike Serra from Customer States. Matco Tools is one of the best tool companies in the industry, and Nick Lowridge is one of the best Matco tool distributors. Nick can get me anything I need for the shop or for at home. From oil drain pans to beef jerky, Nick's got what I need on tap. Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area, and you too can get whatever you need by calling him at 805-796-7323. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him from the Customer States podcast. And then you can hop on to matcotools.com and find a Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.